Joining us now, Jesse Weber, attorney and host of the Law and Crime Network and NewsNation legal contributor, has been following this case closely. Also with us is attorney Ben Chu. He represented Johnny Depp in his defamation trial against ex-wife Amber Heard. Thank you both for coming on the program. Appreciate it. All right, Ben, let me start with you. How valuable, significant do you think that the testimony was of Lisa Birnbach?
Well, Dan, first, thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure to be here. I agree with you that it might be the second most important day of testimony. I thought she came across as highly credible. And I think one way Ms. Carroll's lawyers were trying to diffuse the idea of a political bias was to go back to the timeline. That if the jury believes that these two witnesses, these two outcry witnesses, including Birnbach, in fact had the conversation contemporaneously with Ms. Carroll in 1996, it really diffuses the idea that they were politically motivated. It also takes away the problem of Carroll's not being able to pinpoint the exact time of the alleged rape, because Birnbach did it for Carroll. So I thought it was very compelling on a couple of fronts.
Jesse, but what they're arguing, Tacopina and the Trump team are saying is she's in it. She's in it with Jean Carroll for political motivations, and she has spoken very negatively about Trump in the past.
And then they would have to be telling this jury, you have to accept that they hate Trump so much that they're willing to lie on the stand to do that. And look, I mean, is that a possibility? Sure. The problem is look, we could talk about the problems in Leeds' testimony. I thought Birnbach was incredibly helpful. And this is a case, look, I covered the Harvey Weinstein trial where you didn't have forensics, you didn't have surveillance tape. It was just based on the testimony of the accusers. But to have a supporting witness really helps. Now, look, I will tell you, I think Tacopina is doing a great job at trying to poke in holes, inconsistencies in the statements, details that don't match. He's doing the best that he can.
Well, I got to tell you, look, I view this a little differently. Without making any judgment on whether it's true or it's not true, et cetera. The reality is that yesterday, and both Ben and I seem to agree that yesterday may have been the most important day, was a very tough day for E. Jean Carroll. And let me explain to you why. I mean, in addition to the fact that she has said that she doesn't know the date or even the year, that can happen, case happened a long time ago, et cetera. You've got these Facebook posts. For example, it's number 7. When she was asked about a 2012 post in which she asked people whether they could have sex with Trump for $17,000 and could keep their eyes closed during it, Carroll admitted, yes, I made several jokes about Donald Trump. She also said that she was a big fan of The Apprentice. I was a big fan of the show, very impressed by it. I had never seen such a witty competition on TV, and it was about something worthwhile, competing. Again, let me be clear. I'm not saying it makes it not true. I am saying that, Ben, it makes this a much harder case for the plaintiff.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And this is secondary, you could argue, to that. I mean, because in the end, Jesse, this is going to come to a large degree down to whether these jurors believe E. Jean Carroll.
It all comes down to whether or not they believe E. Jean Carroll. And look, I think there are problems. It's not perfect testimony. The fact that and look, I know they made the argument that her account is so similar to an episode of Law & Order SVU. Yeah. What I think Tacopina is doing is giving them pause, something to think about throughout all of this. The fact that she said at one point, I haven't been back to a Bergdorf-Goodman changing room, and then that wasn't entirely accurate with the deposition. The fact that she says, I haven't had a romantic relationship because I was attacked by Trump, but then in a podcast said, I don't think it was because of him. That's all giving the jury pause. Will it be enough to actually say they don't believe it? I'm not sure, but I think he's doing a good job.
But what makes this case different, Ben, than, for example, almost any other case of sexual assault? Remember, this is a civil case, not criminal, is the political element of this. The heart of the defense is this is political. This is an effort to bring down Donald Trump. And you don't have that typically in a rape or, you call it a defamation case, in this kind of case.
Well, that's right. But again, I think it goes back to the outcry witnesses. And if the jury believes that they, in fact, received those calls, I think it really undercuts the argument of political bias. The other elephant in the room, I'm sure you're going to get to, Dan, is the decision by Joe Tacopina, which is, I'm sure, the decision of his client not to attend and not to testify, because I think that also can be a game changer.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.